Welcome to Sunday Mornings with Enlightenism. I'm Brother Malcolm.
I'm Sister Carolyn.
And we are here with you today to share some wonderful insights on Enlightenism, working in the mind, the greater power within you. Sister Carolyn is going to get us started. She is an Enlightenism practitioner, teacher, and workshop facilitator. More importantly, she talks about Enlightenism, something that can benefit all of us. The power within you is greater than the one that is outside of you. The power inside of you is consciousness. Sister Carolyn.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Malcolm. As Brother Malcolm introduces me so wonderfully, I always love it, and it brings a smile to my face. I am Sister Carolyn, Enlightenism teacher and consciousness practitioner. And that title means the world to me within myself, because it is something that I think about moment to moment. And when I'm not in those moments and somewhere else and something happens, then my response is not as high as I would like it to be. That scab of anger maybe come back, or maybe something hits me in the form of judgment. But I always know what it is, and I always know how to call the higher self forward. And that is what this life is all about. That is why we do this broadcast. For so many years, I lingered in a place where I was not comfortable and didn't want to be. With Enlightenism, it enabled me to look at my life and to change the way that I think and live. And whenever I'm counseling with anyone, the question is always, do you want to change how you think and live? And initially, I think people do want to change the way they think and live. And then somewhere in the process, the work becomes more intense, and the work becomes a little harder because of all the societal, religious, family, educational, peer pressure. All of those notions come into play in our belief system. And so when that happens, the person that was asked the question, do you want to change how you think and live? And all of these apps come up. I call them apps that they've been running in their life for so long. They're reluctant to delete them. And as soon as they delete one, something else appears from there, may be pushed into another app. And all these apps are working together, and we're pushing them. The anger app, the judgment app, the app that says this is what you ought to do, the societal app. All of those apps come up. And when you're getting rid of them or unlearning, we call it the unlearning process for computer talk in relating this to simply how one can understand it. It's deleting those apps. And we call that unlearning in Enlightenism. We're unlearning those notions that triggered us to use that app in the first place. And when we're unlearning, the process becomes harder because we realize what we're doing. We've gone and got one of those apps out of the trash, and we're using it again. But the power in us knows. And if we can just ride with the power, that power that we talk about all so often, Brother Malcolm and I, the power that you were born with, The power that says that you're whole, perfect, and complete. That's the only app that you need to run. That's the only app that you run on. The understanding that you have everything that you will ever need for the journey. And when we're using that app, we may get downtrodden, we may get angry, we may get sad, but we understand what is happening. And that's the power in Enlightenism. Understanding that there is no one greater than you. And there is no one who can change the way you think and live but you. You are the only one. So in this day, you have to ask yourself, what app are you running? What are you living from? Do you believe that you have the power to change your life, to change the way you think and live, to change the way that you respond to others? Not justify it, but to actually change the way you think and live. Not for more friends or more money or a better job, but for you, to find that greatness within you, to become self-reliant in your own life. That is what Enlightenism is about. And any other conversation that gives greatness to someone else is not who you are anymore. You can hear what someone is saying, but you understand and know that you have the power within you to change the way you think and live. Enlightenism is about recognizing the power within, recognizing the qualities that we give to religious notions outside of us, understanding that God is within, and that when you are praying, you are talking to the self, that power within the self that knows. That power that knows. It is about changing the beliefs. It is about changing the patterns that we were taught by well-meaning others. It doesn't mean going after those well-meaning others. It simply means that now you recognize your state of being. You recognize who you are being. The idea of Enlightenism is to stay within the self so we don't fall and pick up those illusionary notions that we have been carrying around for so long. The ones I earlier called apps. Anyone who has a computer understands, or a phone. They have apps on the phone, and they use those apps. And with Enlightenism, we don't use the app of anger. We don't use the app of judgment. We don't use the apps of lack, limitation, and struggle to stay there. We know we can delete those apps from our program. We understand that until we knew better, that is what we used. And with Enlightenism, when you know better, you know that that is not what you use. I encourage all of you, near and far, to purchase the book Enlightenism. Enlightenism is truly a new way to think and live. With Enlightenism, it has the 10 principles of Enlightenism so that you can stay on track and understand who you are. What I would like to leave you with is just a small passage from Enlightenism in this day. Whenever you think of your present living conditions, one thing is absolute. You are what you think of yourself. you don't like your present lifestyle, you have the power to create many different new ones. Today, you are strong enough so you don't have to accept mediocrity as your goal. All that is required of you is to know you have all the power you will ever need to change your lifestyle, to change the way you think and live. Now, this book, Enlightenism, fulfills so many places in our life. It answers so many questions. It puts you on the road. And any page that you open to in this book, whether you start on the affirmations, whether you start with the 10 principles, whether you just start from the beginning of the book, I absolutely know that this book, Enlightenism, will change the way you think and live. And now it's time for Brother Malcolm. And so without any further ado, I give you Brother Malcolm, author, philosopher, and creator of Enlightenism. Brother Malcolm.
Oh, thank you so much, Sister Carolyn, for those wonderful insights to get us started today, folks. I'm sure they reached you to a place within you where you could feel better about yourself, or I should say feel good about yourself today.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sister Carolyn.
You're welcome.
Okay, folks, I'm Brother Malcolm coming to you live from the Enlightenism Zone. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. Sister Carolyn got us started with some wonderful insights on Enlightenism. I'd like to ask you a question today. Who are you aware of being? And what do you need to change your life? What do you need to solve your problems? The answer is power and clarity. You need power and you need the clarity to see, to envision what you're working with, what you're achieving in your life. Enlightenism is power and clarity. It comes from in the mind. Now, if you just look in the mind, look in terms of imagining what's in the mind, because the mind is not something that you can operate on. You can operate on the brain, which many people equate as being the mind. But I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about the consciousness in you. And you can't operate on it. It's changeable. You can change it if you're willing to let go of the things that are distracting you from being the great person you were created to be. You were born to be. You're not powerless. But when we inherit beliefs from other people, and if they are thinking with a powerless mindset, then it's passed on to us. This becomes our legacy, our inheritance from other people. We inherited toxicity. All of us, regardless of your race and color. We've all been taught to think a certain way and to act a certain way, and now we believe it's the only way that we can think. We want to use unworkable beliefs to change our lives. Why do I say that they're unworkable? Because they did not give the people the power to change how they think and live. And when you listen to people that have microphones and so forth and platforms and status in the society, they always talk about passing something on to their children so that the children can make the world better. But what are you passing on? You're passing on the unworkable beliefs that you have acquired in your life and that you have used, and somehow you believe they can make them better. Well, you cannot make darkness into light without having light in you. And the light comes from clarity. So the next generation, if they are using the beliefs, the toxic beliefs from the previous generation, will have the same results in their lives. Do you want something different in your life? Do you want to get away from all of the hoopla and all of the things that people are telling you about yourself, to find a place in you where you have power? And that's within the mind. When you are unsure about yourself, And I have many people that I encounter every day. I have conversations with just in passing or conversations. And there is this strong commitment that people have to other people's beliefs. And they believe that they are their own beliefs. And people believe this. No matter, regardless of what you believe the education status of someone is, they basically fundamentally are living in the illiteracy of spirituality. Because they're using someone else's beliefs. And to use someone else's beliefs is to defile the beliefs in you. You are greater than the person that you believe that you are today. You do not have to go back in time and say, I used to be. I used to do this. I used to have this happening in my life. You no longer have to do that. With enlightenism, you can work in the present moment. And in the present moment, you are powerful. Your legacy begins in the present moment. When you can understand that you were born with this powerful mind and that you're colorless, faceless, and formless in consciousness. But whenever you try to take your body image of your body of understanding into the mind, then you take a lot of problems, and that prevents you from thinking clearly about yourself, because now you attach to everything that you believe about what other people have told you about your race and color. And that's what you're trying to change. Trying to live in the world as a victim. And believing that if you can mimic the things that have been denied you, that somehow that is clarity and that is power. That is not. I'm not talking about military power. I'm not talking about economic power. I'm not talking about religious power. I'm talking about the power of consciousness in you, the individual. So you can make a contribution into your own life, that you stop believing that you are the way that other people tell you that you are. And everything out of your mouth about change and forcing someone else to accept your beliefs. See, people force people to accept their spiritual and religious beliefs. And if you don't accept it, they call you all types of names. People just say, well, you need to go and check the book, the scriptures, or the Gita, or the Quran, or something. You want to go somewhere and check out what they're saying. And then to say that if you disagree, you don't have the right to be free. See, we don't have the right in our own minds and teaching to be spiritually free. And that's what Enlightenism is about. Spiritually free to understand what happened in the past. If you want to look at it. If you really want to look at it. To understand some of the interpretation. Some of the information is very good information. But you have to understand it. Most of the things were written in secret. With a limited amount of people that could understand it. And this is coming from the Egyptian society. It's passed on. That only the initiated, those who had done the work, can understand the writings. Those that have done the work can understand the writings of the religious beliefs of the past. And if you have not, then you don't know what it means to be born again. You can hear the words all the time. You don't know what it means to be the Father and I are one, but the Father is greater than I. What is it? It's not a physical thing. It's in consciousness. And in consciousness, the Father is consciousness. And the Son interacts with the Father in consciousness. In consciousness, so not a physical thing. There's not a physical thing like a son and a father. The Father is consciousness, and the Son interacts with the Father in consciousness. And when you understand that this great power is within you, then you understand something very clearly. That's what Sister Carolyn and I always talk about. We talk about Enlightenism a lot, because that's the foundation of our philosophy, of our beliefs. So I encourage all of you, don't want to cover it up, I encourage all of you, go to the National Bar Society.
Yes.
National BYE Society.org. And check out some of the videos, some of the work. Support the organization. We're revitalizing the National Bi Society to make it available to more people.
Yes.
So check it out for yourself. I'm Brother Malcolm.
I'm Sister Carolyn.
And thanks for stopping by. And be sure to check out Enlightenism and the National BYE Society. We're changing how to build your Enlightenism. Have a great day, folks.
Thanks for listening.